They're the team that Blizzard favors. Let's go ahead and go into game number 4. Get this Battleground movement in, as Strict Esports are hoping to tie up the series and go to a game 5. We'll be going to Infernal Shrines, and this is the Tricked Esports map. This is one they've been coming to more often as of late, and they love controlling it.
Tricked again with the map choice here, yes. So an opportunity for them to tie this series and force a 5th game. And yeah, let's see what the Ducks are going to do right now. This is also again a Leoric map. This is again a map where you have a single objective where team fights in the mid game, in the late game, are extremely common in 5 versus 5 scenarios, and this is where Leoric with the new build with his ghost form usually excels. So while we didn't see him on Cursed, I would still expect him to be drafted during this game.
We'll see if he does get drafted. The Sonya continues to be more and more impactful between both these teams. Could see that as well. And then Arthas, who's gotten a little bit of play today. Great on this Battleground too. Clearing out the shrines, setting stuff up, and Tricked Esport will probably be that team that does work on clearing out the shrines, whereas the playing Ducks on their left side, they'll probably doing a little bit more macro play. They'll look to take down turrets early and work towards that level 10.
Yeah, Leoric is currently sitting at the sidelines and is just like raising his arm. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I also think that Leoric is a hero where Blizzard has so far missed huge opportunities when it comes to their skin game. First of all, Janitor Leoric, fantastic, just cleaning the lanes.
Not till I get my Deathwing Brightwing.
I have another one. Baseball Eric, just knocking it out of the park all game long.
Why does Leoric get skins? Why can't Brightwing have more skins? Why can't Li Ming have more skins? She has no skins.
Okay, so first of all, Li Ming, stop trolling me. Second of all, nobody likes Brightwing. That's number 1. And everybody likes Leoric. Your friendly ghost, I mean, how can you not like the guy? Think about the baseball skin. It doesn't get any better than that.
I have a feeling that as the weeks continue with this new Leoric build, if we don't see some adjustments soon, I don't think people will like Leoric anymore.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that people after this weekend are going to hate Leoric, and I'm pretty sure that there is a change in his near future if he turns out to be as dominant as we expect him. Right now, we're still in an experimental phase where a lot of teams do play him, but everybody is still looking, okay, where do we prioritize him? Which map is he the best on? And how do you deal with it? But if Expert has talked about how strong he is in their opinion. Liquid has talked about it as well. We have experienced ourselves in these games, and if that trend continues, people are going to hate the Ghost on the other side. We're going to see him banned out, but we're not there yet. For now, we have a start with ETC and Greymane as Rhaegar's first pick. Infernal Shrines caters to Rhaegar player, of course, and the extra wave player is fantastic. Then you have ETC with the flexibility as a first pick, as we said before, and now we're having Greymane. And oh my god, look, they didn't, I mean, I didn't, like, what? Leoric?
Who is this hero? Oh wow, look at him getting pulled in.
Haven't seen him in a while.
You know what's actually very interesting? With Leoric coming in, we just see Dehaka just falling more and more and more. We have seen him in less matches now. Granted, it's only been a total of 6 teams that we've watched so far this weekend, but definitely, you can feel the impact that Dehaka hasn't been pulled up that often.
I feel at this point, again, if the dominance of Leoric continues, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see slight adjustments on the balance side for his level 13 and 16 talents. Slight ones. I don't think you have to completely cripple those talents, but I really think that if you adjust them slightly, the build is going to fall off a little bit, and then Leoric is still going to be very useful, but he's not going to be omnipotent in these fights. And once that happens, I'm actually really curious how that battle between who's our offlaner, Leoric or Dehaka, how that turns out. Because then you have a big argument for playing with Leoric, since he provides more teamfight value. But at the same time, you have the global macro aspect of Dehaka, which just caters to a different playstyle. And that dynamic, I would love that, because that is absolutely fantastic. With the current trend of having 2 frontliners, a main tank and an off tank, that would be pretty cool. Then you have from the start to think, okay, do we play the global game? Do we try to play macro games against our opponent to an extent where we need a global? Or do we instead try to have a good solo laner in Leoric that later on provides more value in the teamfight itself?
My hope is that the Leoric build that is now showing up doesn't get nerfed too much, simply because the playstyle is new and different for heroes. Granted, the only hero that I can think of that actually kind of plays like that is the D.Va, but D.Va got nerfed pretty heavily. We don't see her as much. The idea of sitting on top of a hyper carry and taking away their damage as much as possible and trying to nullify them. It's actually really cool to see that coming in.
One of the things that I find actually a bit sad is that we don't really have an indicator of who has been hit by Leoric. Like there's no proper indication, even if you have been hit or if you're clicking on anyone. I think there's like a dark shimmer, and even on that I'm not 100% sure if it's actually there, if I'm imagining it, but there's no real proper visual indication right now that the damage reduction has kicked in. And I think if that style or if that mechanic is going to stay in the game, eventually it will be added.
Yeah, I hope they add something like a Leoric build or a beard goes in that person or something. Like, this person has a beard, that means their damage has been reduced. It soaks away the damage, you know? That's what the beard does.
Do you know that that would be looking extremely ridiculous because most of the damage dealers that we have right now are female? So you have Vala with a beard, Li Ming with a beard.
Hey man, I'm not one to hate on stylistic choices, and it's Leoric forcing his will on them. I think it looks good. It'll be great. Good animation.
Okay.
Let's get it in, Blizzard. All right, Playing Ducks have picked up a pick comp here with Stitches into Tyrande. Have not seen this in a while, but one that did pop around, gosh, 2015, 2016, with Stitches hook in, Tyrande follow up into the Hunter mark. Takes some timing, but one that you can pull off.
Starfall, please. I want Starfall with this. And also Malfurion now on the other side. So a solo heal for Trick with, again, this frightening double front line with ETC and Arthas that we've been highlighting earlier a bit. Also, great blowout potential on their end with a Cursed Bullet and a combo from Li Ming. You have a lot that you can do with this as well. So both sides have really cool choices now. And it really caters to the map. But because of the map, I would love to have Starfall on Tyrande.
You can see the Starfall coming in. So we're going to be watching the Stitches into the Tyrande. The synergy between those two are going to have to be on point. You go out for a hook, and as the target is flying towards you, you drop a Lunar Flare right in front of the Stitches, making sure to hit it, stun them, and fall up in the Hunter mark, and then you blow up that target. If you miss on that small interaction, the opponent should be able to walk away, especially with Li Ming being there and Greymane. They should have disengages. And then usually the opponent is going to try and force a fight before your cooldowns come back up. But it is a very fun style to watch, and it's cool to play in Ducks with one out.
Yeah, if you if coordinated properly, you can make a lot happen. It's very similar to Malfurion and Stitches, which is more popular as of late. But the original combo, that was Tyrande together with Stitches, so we have that back.
Yep, the Tyrande, the Muradin, the Stitches, all those old combos you used to see when she was strong for that one December, that Christmas of 2016, was it?
Oh, she was long. Like, Muradin Tyrande was there for a lot longer than that.
That was a good holiday.
And then Blizzard said, we have this new thing. It's called Cleanse.
Maybe not so much. So, we're getting ready for game number 4 here. Strict Esports need to get the win to tie up the series and go to game number 5. If not, Playing Ducks will grab the win and, of course, grab the entire series. So looking good for them here as both teams today have been showed up to their matches. Playing Ducks so far have been getting the edge.
Yeah, the 2-1 lead here. Last game didn't look too good for them, but now this setup is actually pretty frightening. Chris also, again, on Gul'dan is going to be something to worry about. So, yeah, I like it. But, again, Arthas and ETC at your front line, it's not bad.
For control, Trick definitely.
Solo heal, on the other hand. Heal over time.
It is Malfurion, which doesn't really help too much with that burst that's coming out from the Playing Ducks when they get that combo they want to pull off.
Tranquility.
Do you think we're going to get Tranquility?
No.
We haven't seen it in a while.
I don't think that's actually happening. But then again, you have a solo heal Malfurion. You don't have too much heal power. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could see it. I don't expect it, but if you play Tranquility, I'm pretty sure this would be the game where you would take it. The question is, what are you going to hit actually with? Is that going to be the Leoric counter? Leoric pops out of the Wraith War, gets immediately silenced and blown away. Is that going to be the new...
For the Twilight Dream to handle the Leo?
Yeah.
Timing would be a bit rough, but doable. You can make it happen. Could work out. Arthas and ETC still go for the engage. You can still follow that up as well. I mean, you could always go into the Ice Block at 13, get hooked, and then drop down the Twilight Dream.
Keeps in mind, we also have ETC with probably Prog Rock and Arthas with his own self-sustain. So you don't need as much heal as you need with other heroes. ETC can help out a bit. Arthas is usually going on his own. But yeah, heal over time is always a bit of a risk to take.
Yep, it certainly is here. So looking at it, let us know at home on Twitter using the hashtag HGC and hitting us up at Heroes Esports whether or not you think Trick Esports is going to tie up this series or if we're going to have Playing Ducks get the win. We do have one tweet right now actually to look at.
And let us know what you think is the better skin idea, Janitor Leoric or Baseball Leoric.
Or Deathwing Brightwing. Here we go. Gillyweed, Caldor's declaration that nobody likes Brightwing is a declaration of war. We are coffee friends no longer.
Come on, Gilly. No, we can agree to disagree here, but don't shut me out with the coffee.
The moment you get shut out by Gilly, you've done goof life.
No, she just crossed the line. She just said we are not coffee friends anymore. That's just not okay. That's crossing the line right there.
That shows you the importance of your words that you just said earlier.
Coffee.
Let's go to game number 4 here. Figure out what's going to be happening here between our two teams. Strict Esports hoping to tie it up. The Playing Ducks hoping to get a win. And Gillyweed is no longer a friend of Caldor.
It just feels bad. I don't know.
Do you feel bad? Does it hurt?
Yeah.
He has a heart, chat. He has a heart.
Playing Ducks with Wolfjoe on Rhaegar, Nanda on Tyrande, this time to the left on Infernal Shrine. Sport Billy is playing Stitches this time. We have Chris on Gul'dan, and Eternal for the 3rd time in the series is playing Leoric.
On the right side, in the red, Tricked Esport. Nape playing the Malfurion. We're going to watch out for that Tranquility to see if it does come in. ETC being played by Rimmer, Make playing Greymane, Crosby playing Li Ming, and Alex Aproji is your Arthas.
Sportbilly is just increasing his hero pool on the tanks now. He's just playing everything. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't play that guy.
At this point, is he just showing off? He's like, hey, look, I have all these heroes unlocked. I've bought them. I leveled them to 5. Let's play them here in competitive.
I have all the tanks. I have the best tanks.
Wow. Moving forward. A step too far. Nande setting up for a hook. It connects the Luna Flare. Where's it at? Where's it at? Crosby able to get out. The Luna Flare too late. Nande, come on, man.
Yeah, Luna Flare in this case. There was just no trust.
Yeah, the moment the hook goes out, you throw it out.
At this point, he was just thinking, Sportbilly, come on, you can't be serious.
Yeah,
you're
not that good.
You can't play Garrosh. You can't play just like ETC, Johanna, Garrosh, and now also at the stages. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to leave you a few training hooks for the start, and then I'm going to trust you. But yeah, in this case, that could have been a kill with a good flare, but the hooks are connecting, and Alex is actually going to suffer at the hands of this one. This could be a kill, but no, the Death Coil heals him up again.
And again, no trust there from Nande. Nande, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
No. He was on cooldown. He actually tried to hit him before that, and yeah, he didn't hold it back.
Yeah, should have held it there for the Stitches hook to come out. TT there, as the Playing Ducks have had 2 possible kills missing out on them, but still, you see the idea. They're looking for these hooks, they're looking for the engages, and they want to follow up with the burst there from the Hunter Mark.
Yeah. Also, we have now, as expected, Prog Rock taken for ETC, so with heals over time provided by Malfurion, you want to make sure that you have some extra heals, and that's usually where ETC can shine with his level 1. Eternal with Consume Vitality on level 1 once again. We're going to see Neil Peasants on level 4 for the extra wave clear. And in the meantime, we're just seeing Nande trying to also get a couple of stacks on his Owl build. So still going into the Owl build, not trying to get stacks on Luna Flare here. People have been asking quite a bit also on like forums on Reddit and everywhere which build to go for with Tyrande. And you've seen here in Europe the same Tyrande build now for the last few weeks, and this is literally the best build that you can go for right now that will have the best impact for you overall in the game.
Yeah, typically your 4s where you will have the adjustments that might deter from the normal build based on what your opponent's playing.
If you go for, if there's silencers and stuns, you can go for this Celestial Attunement, which is exactly what we're seeing here right now. Oh, nice kill against Stitches. Look at that. Trick actually starting with the aggression here. So far in the early game, they are the ones who have taken a bit of a beating, but right now Trick Esports showing the strength of Arthas and ETC.
Good on Tricked Esport. This is one of the ways that you break a Stitches composition. You force the fight. You move in for an engage. Stitches, he's not a fan of being engaged upon. You saw him get bursted down right there from Tricked Esports, and they'll be able to work on the Shrine on the top. The Playing Ducks answer back by running towards the middle lane, but Tricked, wise and aware that they have retreated, move in for their own kills, and they're getting an Eternal low on health.
There's also another thing that now is added to the comp. We have not only the lockdown from ETC and Arthas, but we have at the same time then also the potential of another route as the follow-up. So it just gets really dangerous once that you are in that lockdown.
Speaking of that route, how come we haven't had Malfurion against ETC stage dives in the last couple of weeks where we could have had a stage dive come in and you drop a route and catch him?
Because Malfurion sucks compared to the other healers.
All right, there you go. 4 on the top here as we continue to clear out the Shrine, 25-7. I'm here to let you do the analysis thing, man.
No, but giving you a proper answer, the problem with Malfurion, and this is why it also surprised me a bit in this setup, is that he just as a solo healer is just not as much respected. When you see him, nice attempt here, when you see him then it's usually in a double support setup, so I think against stage dive it's definitely a good option, but oftentimes when you head into the draft you don't even know if stage dive if it's going to be used, so just simply draft him to get the route down for after stage dive is always a bit of a risk. If you happen to be in a place where you want to take him anyways, then I think he can definitely fill that role, but I feel drafting him only to counter ETC stage dive is not really worth it.
Sportbilly getting engaged on here with the power slide. It's going to be a dead Sportbilly as Stitches gets picked up, and Trick Esports is pushing in the top. But following up on your reasoning here, lately we've been having a lot of our supports picked up in the first couple of slots. Malfurion is not warranted in that region. That's why you don't have that reaction to handle the ETC.
Here's something that I like very much, though, which we haven't seen in the last few days because the Moonfire build has been so strong. We have now Strangling Vines taken and a Loon's Grace on level 4, and that's absolutely fantastic if you want to snipe targets. And with them going into Li Ming and also Greymane, with all that lockdown that they have, that's exactly what you wanted to do. So with Strangling Vines taken, the targeted hero receives 30% less healing. That's absolutely fantastic when you are trying to just blow someone to pieces with Greymane and with Liming.
Slowing down the ancestral healing too, also helpful if you're able to hit that root. Make comes down and starts some mercs in the middle, hoping to get them pushed in, and Trick Esport in this game is looking very similar to the game earlier on Cursed Hollow. A nice lead here, 8.5 to almost 8 for the playing Ducks. Are controlling the map, and they've opened up a fort.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to find out. Sorry, but Greymane is about to fall. He's nearly dead in the middle and during that fight, and just barely got away here. So Mako was able to escape. The Owl still moving through, but yeah, that was a close call, as we could actually see. For now, we have still, I mean, you are right, Trick takes a bit of a lead here, but I still want to highlight that Leoric comes online really on 13 and 16. And on this map, this is important because that's also the time when the entire setup with the shrines is going to be so much more dangerous. The problem really is that with this early pressure up to the front, Sport really might die again, and that's the 3rd kill already. So the Ducks are starting to move in more aggressively, and they are not getting kills. The exact opposite happens. They're losing heroes, which increases the lead of Trick Esports.
Sport Billy is not a god, missing a couple of hooks right now, and good on Trick Esports coming in and getting those punishes. ETC setting that up with Arthas coming with a massive flank to zone out the other 4 so they could focus down the Stitches, and now they move in towards that level 10, they get top lane pushing, and a Shrine activates. Trick Esports in a great spot as they head to the mid game.
Yeah, the level 10 is going to help them, but the Ducks should actually... I mean, they should be able to get something out of this. They can push the bot lane, for example, and just simply pressure for the fort. Either they need to move to the top and say they're going to wait for 10 and then take the fight, or they just push through the fort at the bot lane, and it looks like they decide to go for the structure instead. A bit hesitant here, just clearing the wave, opening up the wave for also the Khazra camp that they took. They have their own 10. Gorge has been chosen, and I love it, Starfall. As I said, much, much better here for the map right now, and their playstyle to go Starfall on 10 for Tyrande. I'm loving the choice. Nice attempt again with hook and stun, but 30 minions already taken by Trick.
Sage dive.
Sage dive comes in, Horrify being used, and ETC immediately in trouble. Good Starfall on the ground. The Ancestral comes through as well. They're turning it around against Alex, and we have Eternal in the middle of the fight. Here comes the silence against Eternal. And that's exactly what we talked about earlier. Once that you have Leoric in that position, silence can definitely ruin his day.
Fell Flame hitting Rimmer, but they'll be able to grab the Shrine. Still, how the playing Ducks orchestrated that fight was pretty clever, dropping down the Horrify and the Starfall, forcing Trick Esport, if they wanted to save their teammate, to come in. Didn't quite get as many kills as they would like, and Trick Esports is back with a great Twilight Dream, but you can see the fight and how it can open up for the playing Ducks.
Yeah, and now imagine that fight with Leoric actually having as important talents. That's what I am currently scared of for Trick. Right now, they take a lead, and they need to take that lead. But it's not as big as they hope for, and that hook destroys Arthas. That was fantastic. So now that Punisher is not even getting a lot of value. Look at experience. With the fort taken down at the bot lane, they not only equalize the situation when it comes to structures on the map, because earlier Trick was able to take out the top fort, but now we're having them an even experience as well, and that's heading into level 13 talents where Leoric is going to get the damage reduction against Liming, against Greymane, what they are looking for. Even without that, the fight already looked strong. But once that hits, it's going to be pretty rough for Trick.
I take back my comment earlier about Sport Billy maybe not being a god. He is a god. I feel bad, and I'm sorry for saying that. All right, Trick Esport.
I'm sorry for saying that. Please
I'm sorry.
Please don't punish me.
Please don't clip that earlier. We're good. Landing some great hooks there, especially with the Punisher even being grabbed and helping get kills, has put playing Ducks ahead at 12.25, moving up to 12.5 in experience. And Trick Esport are now looking a little shaken here as they're moving a little bit more aggressively on the map than they were earlier.
Yeah, and again, it's not only that leading experience. For me, it's really when 13 and especially 16 kick in. And then it's going to be a lot harder. Also, the late game is going to be pretty strong with the Owls starting to hit. We have 18 stacks so far. It's pretty okay considering that he doesn't have his level 13 talent yet. That's really when it's going to start to rank up, especially when we have more 5 versus 5 fights.
That should be where Malfurion helps out, though. The heal over time. With the constant owls coming out, he should be able to slow down that damage, but still something to consider.
Thing is also that Gorge is still a bit interesting to me, but I can absolutely understand it with not only the stun on Tyrande, but also having Horrify available here. With the Shrine, with this being Infernal Shrines, I would have expected Putrid Bile, but I can totally see what they are trying to do. Now we have Omnius Wrath taken, so Leoric is going to have much more of an impact during team fights, as explained before. The Owl talent with the cooldown reduction on Tyrande is going to have a huge aspect, of course, as well, for cooldown reduction, which will result in higher stack counts. And in the meantime, we're still waiting for Trick to pick their own level 13 talents, because the next shrine is active.
Next shrine is active to the very top. Playing Ducks about to get 14. They're getting the map pushing out too, so they'll have middle and bottom moving in. They'll have the option to either grab forts in open battleground or come fight Trick Esports on the shrine, and they are deciding not to move into it. They want Trick to respond to them and push in the middle, grab the minions, take the fort easily, and keep up their experience lead.
And they can still move to the top now. Arthas is already in the back here. Really could just eat him. I mean, at this point, there's the stun already. So the rest of the team is getting into position. ETC has started to defend the bot lane. Nice double hit again. Hook this time not connecting. Doesn't have fishing hook. There's no 16. Very likely to go into pulverize anyways. But in this setup, the hook just a bit short of getting a target. And now they move easily to the top lane, where they can claim another wave with Chris and will get a very solid lead on the shrine itself if they want to.
I've really been enjoying how the Playing Ducks are handling this mid-game. What is Trick Esports known for? They love flanking. They love Arthas going onto a backline and trying to fight, but they catch them every single time on those flanks.
They want ETC.
They are always looking for those engages. ETC on the bottom, Rimmer, noticing something might be up. He doesn't see the numbers moving up on the minion shrine, pulls away behind the turrets, and is just fine for now.
Look how only Eternal shows. Nobody else. The entire time, Eternal has been the one that was visible in the mid lane and in the bot lane now. No one else shows. And now, as they have seen someone at the top lane, they just completely go to the bot lane. They rotate around Trick Esports so much right now. They play around Vision the entire time. The lanes are pushed out in their favor. They destroy the wall so that they can continue the same game. They are just sitting in a situation where they are attempting to play with Vision around the opponent and get value by destroying structures. And they still keep it up. They don't even care that Rema Baller right now is at the top, because with Rema at the top, Trick can now claim the shrine, since he can still use his heroic to jump to a team fight. So now Trick is trying to get more value out of their global, which is a big advantage that they have.
Yep, they finally adapt there. They were trying to have their 4 on the top so they can clear out the shrine and have ETC on the bottom, but with Playing Ducks constantly rotating around, they finally get into a spot where they're able to at least contest if Playing Ducks attempt to pull it off again. But Playing Ducks, they've done their damage already. They got an experience lead, they got the keep turret on the bottom right side, and they hit level 16, which means they can defend the push coming on the top.
It's so cool how both of these teams play around Vision right now. It's so safe, making sure that they're not getting caught. Here comes the Horrifiers. Chris tries to keep himself alive, moves behind the wall. That where Gorge has hit Marke, but he's out already. Alex drops immediately his own ult, trying to stay alive. Eternal moves in, he hits Li Ming. He is reducing the damage already and slowing everybody down as Revelballer jumps in with the stage shift. Marco already being slowed down as well, and he goes down. Malfurion is dead, and so is Greymane. 2 kills already. The Ducks are still on the hunt, as they are moving in with level 16 talents now.
The hunt concludes as they get 2 kills. They have 16, and now they make the advancement towards the shrine. Wolfjo even chasing Rimmer across the map. Rimmer will get away, but the Playing Ducks feeling great after that fight. Most of it was due to their catch with Make on the Greymane. Sport Billy able to grab him, gorge him, Tyrande focus him down there. That level 7 talent coming online, and of course that 13 Owl just poking them enough to eventually win the team fight.
Such a cool play by the Ducks overall, and to delay this entire shrine until they had level 16 and now moving in. They grab the shrine, they grab the Punisher, and in the meantime 3 of their heroes are already focusing down the fort so that the Punisher will move towards the keep directly. 4 kills against 4, the Ducks in the lead, strong play on their end. Leoric, huge utility in the fights right now. We have Tyrande also with the great ults, the Owls connecting more and more, 26 stacks. Not really too much just yet, a little bit on the low side. But considering the way they've been playing, is still absolutely worth it. Breaking through the wall, you're opening the side gate, and once the Punisher stun is triggered, they will move in.
They're playing careful, not making sure that they get caught by the stage that could be coming in. Trick Esports is pretty infamous here for always going for a fight behind the objective after an engage happens, but with the Punisher about to ramp up, they're playing safe. Sport really does step up and grabs the Arthas. We'll throw him to the side. The Tyrande Ludaflare does connect, but here is Rimmer flanking from behind.
ETC in the back, Horrify being used against Alex. Arthas in trouble, but still dropping the army, eating ghoul after ghoul, and able to move away. Punisher down to 20% as we are having the Ducks moving in. They want the keep, and they are not pushing for it just yet. Knappe nearly falls to the Punisher, and we have the Ducks moving away.
Heads up, there is actually, I just noticed, you were asking about a visual to show if someone does get their damage reduced. There's a little brown bar underneath them.
It's a bar?
Yeah, it's a little brown bar that actually shows when they are low on damage due to Leoric touching them.
Where exactly is it? I thought there was also always a little bit of a black, like, I don't know how to call it, like a mist on the hero. I thought there was a visual indicator, but I haven't seen the bar yet.
It's right underneath the mana bar. We'll watch Eternal next time. It happened on Make there, and I was able to see that he would hack that little brown bar that showed the full duration of it not being available for the damage.
Okay, awesome. That's actually good to know, because I've looked and something, sometimes something is like right in front of you and you miss it completely. I have actively looked for that and I have not seen it, so thanks for pointing that out. It's definitely that I'm going to check.
We'll keep an eye on that as we'll continue to go through this game as we move to the late game. So far, Plain Ducks have been out playing Trick Esports for the last couple of minutes, but Trick is still in this game. They kept their keep alive in the top right. It's low, it's at half health, but they are still in this game. They would like to get a fight within the next level and a half for the Plain Ducks. If not, they're going to be at a disadvantage with 20 hitting with the Shrine connecting soon. The
one thing that I don't like is that they didn't take the keep. They could have. I really think they could have taken that keep quite easily. So, especially with Gul'dan. With Gul'dan and him having corruption, having also his quest, well, not completed yet, but I think they could have taken that. And that is, this is a play that can definitely come back to bite you in the later stages of the game if you don't get a keep like this. But we're still 16 minutes in. They still have a massive lead. They're nearly 2 levels ahead. It all comes down to, do they make mistakes from here on out? If they make mistakes, then that keep can become a problem later on. Trick might be able to crawl their way back into it. But for now, the Ducks are starting to work towards level 20. They're about to hit 19. So that would be big. But I love the way that they're playing the macro game, especially since they are the ones up against the global.
Trick trying to catch a Leo. They will find him, but he'll easily just Wraith walk away. Wanting to get that kill. One, to keep Leoric out, but two, to get some experience, clear out the top lane. But now they have to make a call. Run to the bottom side and try to force a fight. Sport Billy is playing safe. He has Nane to back him up, as well as Wolf Joe for the heals.
Yeah, but still a pretty significant lead that we already see in the minion stacks for the Ducks. Here comes the Gorge. ETC will have to stage dive in for this one.
Here comes the stage dive. The Luna Flare comes out, horrified. They focus Alex the Pro-G, and he is down.
Great follow-up on the Gorge. That was a great Horrify that they used here. March of the Black King to zone them out. Ancestral is hitting Eternal, and he moves in. The Silence already used there, trying to go for Emma Ball, and he's low. He's slowed down, and he is going to fall. ETC goes down. 5 versus 3 as Eternal moves in, slows down Greymane. Wolfjoe wants him, but with a quick leap, Make moves out of harm's way.
Make gets out, and the Plain Ducks won't focus too heavily on the Shrine. They're putting 3 on the bottom side. 2 of them will clear it up, and they're going to march their way towards the keep on the right. They kill this keep, they get 20.
Again, I haven't paid attention to the brown bar there.
You'll see. It's going to happen. Guarantee it.
Come on, Eternal. Just goes Wraith walk in for me. Just do it once. Hit anyone. I don't care.
Sport Billy looking for a hook. Flings it out, misses. He gets chunked, though. Needs to be a bit careful. Does get healed up by his teammates, and with this turret falling, 20 does hit.
Yeah, that could, oh my god, this could actually be the end of the game. It should be, to be honest. There they go in once again already. Alex with a flank trying to zone them out a bit, but Eternal still working on the keep. They're starting to move in here. I see the bar. Gorge being used. Stage dive into the back, and at the same time, Sport Billy dies, but so does Greymane. Stitches is down there trying to go for Alex. And yep, that's the second kill. The keep has fallen, and the Punisher is already working on the core.
And the Plain Ducks, who needed a win today, will start working towards the core. They also find a cow. Rimmer's being focused down. He'll jump on top of Chris. Chris being one of the main damages. He wants to get rid of him. Eternal dropping that brown bar on top of Malfurion. Won't matter too much, but still, Trick doing their best to dance around the backside. The Punisher dancing around the core, starting to fall. 75%. A power slide coming out. Trick, can you handle it?
Knappe is followed by the Punisher. Has to ice block, but the core is down to 20% already. The Ducks want to go for the kill. They get Malfurion, and they get the core. Victory is theirs as the Ducks take the 3-1 against Trick Esports.
And the Ducks, within 2 days, have taken 2 important matches that they needed to get a win for. They come out this weekend, and they have delivered on their side of what they had to pull off here to make sure that they do get out of the Crucible. But still, more matches are going to be happening here. They're still in the 7th spot, but again, they've done the right moves for themselves.
I always thought that brown bar was something else, but yeah.
You're so fixated on that. Today we learned.
I looked for it the entire time. I watched so many on the scrims, and I just looked at it. I was just like, I think there's a little bit of black mist on the hero whenever he touches it, but that thing completely slipped my attention. Whenever I saw it, I thought it was some other indicator. You know what I expected? I expected an indicator like the armor indicator, something like that.
Oh.
So I was looking for that, so I completed off the wall there. So yeah, good to know.
Sometimes the
Thanks for pointing
simplest
it out.
things are right in front of us.
Today I learned. But yeah, the Ducks with a 3. I hope that we get Wolf Joe for the interview again. I just want him sitting there. I was like, yeah, well, I don't know. I think we're in the Crucible still, but now we actually, yeah, we have a chance.
For me, I'm very happy to see Sport Billy on the Warrior role. It seems like a perfect fit for this team. He gets just enough plays to set up his team and serve up kills on a platter, which is something that you want to see. The Stitches, kind of working out, not as much as the other Warriors, but still the variety, 6, 7 of them coming out here and it's playing at this high of a level is impressive.
What I really think it comes down to is not necessarily his skills on the hero. I think that is something where given enough time, he can probably transition in nearly every single role. But it's just him being an active shot caller and someone who oftentimes coordinates plays.
Yeah.
If you are in the Warrior role on that, it helps you just so much because you are in the middle of things. And think about what he played before. He played a lot of Medivh. He played a lot of Falstad, for example. He played offlaners for his team. So if he actually wants to call the fights, wants to call the engagements, he's at the other side of the map. He can't really do that properly. Now he's in the middle of things right there where he can say, okay, guys, let's make this particular play. Let's go for this target. This is where we engage. This is how we do that. So if he's the shot caller for the team, having that role is making things a lot easier for him.
Yeah, on the other side, you look at Nande too, and he's doing great on the range flex. He comes in when he needs to, playing great in the gray mains. Taronda, I wish I could have had a little bit more follow-ups there with the Lunar Flare, but still, him coming out with different heroes looking great too. It gives me flashbacks to Phase 1 where he was a top laner, and we saw him dominate his lanes like with Chin.
He tweeted about it yesterday. After the series, he actually sent out a tweet and said that, hey, playing range is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. So continuing to come out there, Nande looking great. The entire team right now playing Ducks just pulling together, especially when it matters, as they continue to try and get out of the Crucible. We have one more week to find out if they will do so. Again, we'll have a more clearer picture, too, with our next series that will be coming your way. Team Liquid and Team Good Guys. Good Guys, kind of in a similar role, too. They're trying to switch it up between BKB and Anti-Hero. Who's playing tank today? Who's playing offlaner?
Yeah, and also with the Good Guys, we're now in a situation where Team Liquid, they can put themselves in a safe spot if they win the series. So that's important for them. When we're talking about the potential spots in the Crucible, then the Ducks have made another big play today. Not only defeating yesterday's Team Zealot, but now today also Tricked. They put themselves in a really good spot, but they still have to rely on one of these teams losing one of their other series or them beating Fnatic. So it's still going to be a bit rough for them. At the same time, if, for example, Team Liquid also stumbles against the Good Guys, then the entire situation changes again. So there's a lot that could still happen there, and Team Liquid is not out of it yet. They still talk about the playoffs. They still want to go to BlizzCon. They're saying, like, I think we find our stride a little bit more. We might be slowly getting out of that weird slump that we have here. Not quite sure yet, but if they fall against the Good Guys today, that would be another massive setback.
Keldor, I don't know if I can handle the stress of not knowing. I just kind of want to get in a time machine and go to next week and know what exactly is happening. Because right now, these final moments, they're making me shaky. I don't know if I can sleep at night anymore.
This guy, every time when we're riding here, he's actually like sitting here, like, this is the weekend, right? After this one, we know.
We know, right? I like knowing. Let's go ahead and hop into it here. Playing Ducks get another victory, and we do have Wolf Joe. Wolf Joe, congratulations on your victory today. Team's looking great. Are you still doubting yourself?
The third game was a little bit on me, so yeah, you always need to improve and always criticize yourself.
When did you become Alex the Pro G, man? Every time I talk to you, a little negative Nancy here.
I don't know. Like, I shouldn't be here. Like, I wanted somebody else to come online because it was like me 2 days in a row. Let's get somebody on them, but nobody could get it to work in time, so it's me again.
Well, we enjoy talking to you, Wolf Joe. I'll send you over to Keldor.
First of all, next time you have to make your bet, because Twitch is already having a blast with that, I'm pretty sure. Second of all, what Tim actually asked was not quite how you personally feel. It was more so about the team. You guys did well. You took down the Zealots. You took down also now Tricked. You are moving more and more into a position where you could theoretically make it out of the Crucible. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, if we want to, we need to improve a lot. So that's Fnatic. Like I said it yesterday, we don't beat them with like not showing your best form. Everybody in the team, and then they always seem to surprise, always play their game. So we need to bring something which surprises them or anything and beat them this way. It's the only way.
Okay, so after you've just now won 2 series with Sport Billy on the tank roll, on a scale from 1 to Idra, how mad are you guys that you haven't already made that change like a week ago?
Pretty mad. I think it's close to Idra. It's pretty close to Idra.
And I mean, we know that's going to be rough for you, but of course, you guys look fantastic right now with the shot calling, how you changed it with Sport Billy now on that role. So I'm really looking forward to the next series that you have. And while you guys keep selling yourself short, keep in mind that you put also a lot of pressure on the other team. So if one of them stumbles, you are going to be benefiting from that just because you are able to put out such fantastic games right now. So once again, congratulations, and I'm really enjoying your games at this point.
Thank you.
Wolf Joe, one last question before I let you go. Have you considered your Lord and Savior, Lava Wave Ragnaros, for a victory over Fnatic?
Anything else but a no.
I think this only happens in an Ace land, sorry.
I love you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man. Before I let you go, the floor is yours for shoutouts. Thank you for joining us as always.
Yeah, shout out to Benetton, our biggest fan, according to Billy, and everybody who cheered for us and keeps with us through all the times. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Playing Ducks get a victory today. Congratulations. Them get a 3-1 over Tricked Esports. And man, it makes me so sad, this team right now that is really starting to come together. But it also makes me very hopeful going to the Crucible that this team can get in, maybe win their Crucible match if they do fall into it, and then come back for next season stronger than ever.
Yeah, and I am also very happy that they see that there's no value in Lava Wave. There's something that on a personal note, just I find fantastic.
You wait. I was right about Chromie. I might be right about Ragnaros. We'll be right back
3
after this
years
commercial
from now,
break
3
as
years
we have our
from now.
next series coming at you. Thank you for joining us.